What up, Ninja Village? Welcome to another episode of Car Chronicles Reviews with the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas. And what's Car Chronicles Reviews for the uninitiated? That's what one or more of us ninjas discuss anything from movie, TV, video games, events, conventions, and everything in between. And I'm Scooter Ray, here to talk to y'all about the Mr. McMahon documentary that is on Netflix. So for those who have been watching the channel for a little bit or getting new to the channel, y'all know that I am an avid wrestling fan. I am a fanatic, as some can say. Aranya watches wrestling. Boss, he dabbles when he can dabble. But I am a fanatic. So, of course, when I heard that Netflix was doing a documentary and it was going to chronologize his life and things like that, told across 6 episodes, I was like, hey, sign your boy up. I'm here for it. Overall, the documentary is okay. And the reason why I say it's okay, because if you know wrestling, or if you've been a part, if you know wrestling, if you've been a part of wrestling, if you was watching it for some time, there's not too much they're going to say in this documentary that you may not know. There may be a few things here and there, but for the most part, you're going to know everything. WWE, then WWF, was pretty open with a lot of stuff. Like, we knew Vince went through the whole steroid trial and everything. We knew about some of his allegations that happened against him. We knew about some of the business dealings and things like that. They did tell more about his life, and they did kind of speak to the man himself, which was actually a pretty good thing. Because they tell you in the beginning that most of it was shot in 2021. They spoke to Vince himself. They spoke to tons of people. And I want to say, I think they said it was over 100 hours worth of interview time that they pieced together. They spoke for some wrestlers past and present. They spoke to like different journalists and things like that who may have been writing things on Mr. McMahon. They spoke to, like I said earlier, Vince, Linda, Stephanie, and Shane. So you sort of got a who's who of in this documentary. And once again, it wasn't nothing that was new. It wasn't anything that was just like this mega shocking thing. Across the 6 episodes, they were basically chronicling how he got into it all, basically saying that he never met his biological father, which was, Vince McMahon Jr. Vince McMahon Sr., about how he never met his dad until he was like 12, when essentially his dad came and got him and then eventually raised him. He broke him into the business, and how he acquired his dad's business, turned it into what it was then, all the way to what it is today. And of course, there's going to be some highs and lows, because as you see on the poster, Mastermind, Madman, and you do get that duality. And that was also one of the biggest questions about Vince for the longest, was, who are we interacting with? Are we interacting with Mr. McMahon, the character who has seemingly may have taken over, or we're reacting to Vince McMahon, who does a pretty good job separating Vince McMahon, Mr. McMahon? You get a lot of that, because he for sure lets you know that everything that is on TV is on TV. And when he's doing business, when he's at home, this, that, and the third, he is Vince McMahon. Once again, that is for us to decide, but if you're hearing it from the man himself, he's telling you like it is. Now, this documentary may be a little controversial, because right when it aired, Mr. McMahon himself denounced the documentary. And upon watching it, I can see why. Now, this is the part where I'm only speaking objectively. So don't be all saying, oh, Scoot picking sides, Scoot siding with this. I'm only speaking objectively. And this is what I mean by that. He's in a position now where, with the allegations that happened back in the 90s, with the allegations that happened back in 2021, and then of course the allegations we got early this year with the ongoing investigation with the Janelle Grant situation, it's truly hard to tell the story of someone who has mud/dirt on their name. Vince is in that same boat with like Diddy. He's in that same boat with all these other people who everything they done couldn't have been bad. There has to be some people or someone or some game, because as they show you in that documentary, and I hate to say it this way, whether people may agree with me or not, especially other avid wrestling fans, where would wrestling be without him? Whether we appreciate his sports entertainment, because funny enough, we get mad for him saying sports entertainment and him not presenting wrestlers as wrestlers, but you realize he's been saying sports entertainment since the late 80s. He just kind of went full tilt with it after they lost the trademark to WWF. But he's been saying sports entertainment, sports entertainer, this, that, and the third. So that's one thing. But without him and without the craziness behind a lot of this stuff, would we even have professional wrestling on TV today? Would it still be in territory? Because they did show that with him, he kind of, in essence, killed the territory days where people who was in Houston only wrestled in Houston. Maybe they might go to Dallas or maybe, but you didn't see Houston wrestlers up north or up north people in the west in the east in the south. They stayed within their territories, while Vince, when he was taking over, he kind of just rolled through the territories, taking some of the great talent and being like, we doing this WWF thing, we gonna be on TV, you joining or not? But would we still have professional wrestling on TV and in this boom period and everything without him? He is a very polarizing figure. He is a man who has mud/dirt on his name, but the documentary didn't do a great job with letting you decide how to feel about Mr. McMahon. They pretty much highlighted the highs of highs as far as how he was taking the business and taking it to the moon, as Cameron Grimes would say. But then they was also showing steroid trial or this sexual allegation or this was happening while this was happening. And the documentary, they was kind of more steering you into believing what you kind of see in the screen, the madman part. And as a person who can kind of stand back and look at things from both sides, it's funny how we want to see Vince as this madman, this horrible person, this monster. But as talking to a lot of those people in the documentary, they don't see him as that. Yeah, they may have slight different feelings now, because when we was getting details of the Janelle Grant situation and hearing some more of the details in that, but the Undertaker, Mark Calloway himself, was like, I'll take a bullet for that man. And he was dead ass. There was no, he just said that just to say it. He legitimately meant that, hey, if me and Vince was in the same situation and there was a man trying to shoot Vince, I will jump in front of the bullet for Vince type of energy. And he was dead ass. There are people who regard this man, even the ones who may have left the company and went on to AEW or TNA or not even in wrestling anymore. There are people who still regard this man as a great guy, a father figure, this, that, and the third. So it would have been great if the documentary kind of told both sides in essence to make you decide how do you feel about Vince, because they was chronologing things, and it got to 2024, and they only talked to, I think, Bruce Pritchard and a couple of like journalists in the 2024 part. But back when they were still actively doing interviews in 2021, one of the last questions was, what will be your legacy? What will be Vince McMahon's legacy? And even Vince himself couldn't even truly answer that. And that is a very unique question for such a polarizing man. Very unique question, because you can call him a monster, you can call him evil, you can call him a predator and this, that, and the third, but there is a group of people, possibly a large group of people, who's going to say the complete opposite. And can we say those people are wrong? Can we say the other side is wrong? Can we say that side is right? That's what makes this such a unique situation altogether with the McMahon situation, because on one hand, he built this juggernaut of a business, employed all these people, made some of the greatest of entertainment we've seen, and some of the greatest crossover stars, and helped people through and through. But then on the other end, there is a man who has done some things, whether it was proven, whether he was proven innocent or guilty. There's plenty allegations against Mr. McMahon, plenty. So I'm not going to sit here and just say, oh, there is plenty of allegations. So it's a weird thing with him. That do you see him as a good guy or a monster or a bad guy? Did Mr. McMahon essentially take over in real life, and he was letting Mr. McMahon run wild? Like, this is a very unique situation with him. But overall, the documentary is okay. It's okay. It's not the worst. It's not the best. Because once again, like I said, if you have been a wrestling fan, not even so much an avid or fanatic, if you've been a wrestling fan, probably 95% of this stuff Maybe there may be not in 100% detail, but you heard about it, you might have caught wind of it, and then boom, here go the people to say, no, boom, this is what really happened type thing. But I would probably say that whole documentary, the more shocking part was I really did not know Vince bought WCW for so cheap. In 2001, he bought WCW for $2.5 million, and I was like, wait, how have I never known that he bought WCW for so cheap? Other than that, pretty much everything else I knew. And the things I didn't know, it was like, okay. Extra knowledge per se. But if you have an interest in it, watch it. 6 episodes. I want to say the first 4 was about 50 something minutes. And then the last 2, I think, was like over an hour. But 6 episodes, you can watch it. It did feel a little weird at times because some of the stuff did seem a little rushed through or skipped over, because once again, you had all of these years to tell this story, but you do it in 6 episodes. So a lot of it does seem a little fast-tracked and rushed. And it was like some of the things they did try to highlight or stick with, it was kind of like, okay, you might be spending a little too much time on this. Let's just think there's other things. But other than that, it was okay. If I had to give it a rating, I give it maybe a 6.5 to 7 WWE championships out of 10. But once again, I'll let y'all decide. Shout outs to the other 2 ninjas, Cosmic Boss and Run Your Miss. Whether you loved it, hate it, don't forget to rate it. Thumbs up, thumbs down, perfectly thumbs up. Like, share, comment. Let us know what you thought. If you watched the documentary, if you plan on it, if you don't want to watch it, let us know what you think of Mr. McMahon, the documentary, and possibly the person. let's have some engagement. Let's have some dialogue. And you know what I'm saying? Let's chat about this in the Ninja Village, And once you do all that, you gotta subscribe. And when you subscribe, you gotta hit that notification bell so you can be notified for when you get more CCRs, LTSN cafes, Ninja Banters, Boss Reacts, all of that. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, love one another, take care of one another, look out for your physical, mental health, and be kind to one another. Until next time, Ninja Village, we just trying to make y'all proud. Peace.